Hello, doesn't that look calming? This is not what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about my beautiful Chevy Volt, 2011. The window on the driver's side front stopped. It just stopped working. The window came down and that was it. Wouldn't come back up again. Of course, it's Texas. End of the summer, we've had a lot of rain, some like pop-up thunderstorms, and so I've gotten rained on a couple times. Luckily, I have a garage, and also at my work I have a garage, and I also have a 7.5-year-old assistant. Let me show you what he looks like. He's watching Clash of Clans, or playing Clash of Clans.
Nope.
And so he has been helping me take some pictures and get tools and all that good stuff. So this is the door panel, the interior door panel. I made this video, but I ended up having to go back and do it again because I had made some mistakes in statements. So, and then plus I wasn't showing parts. So, first of all, when you have to remove this part, first of all, let me show you. I got my part. So there's the window regulator motor inside there that holds the window up and go up and down. I got that part online. There's a ton of Chevy dealers that do around the nation that sell parts online, and they are you can go online and chat with them. In fact, I went online, found this one that was the cheapest, and turns out it was coming from Berger Chevrolet in Grand Rapids, which is pretty much my home away from home, and which really isn't. I haven't been there in years, a couple years. So they were really nice. I was chatting with him online, and he was able to give me a deal on my new window regulator for my Volt. And at first he thought I was a chick. We were talking, and I said something about my best friend, and he said, well, you should ask him. Oh, we were talking about beer, Michigan beer, and all this other stuff. He was a really nice guy, and telling me his ex-wife was from Stanwood, because I told him I was from Big Rapids, and it was kind of funny. And I said, well, that was her first problem. She's from Stanwood. Just kidding. I have friends out there from Morley, so I won't say too many bad things. Anyway, got this in a few days. He FedExed it to me. I ordered it on Friday. He got it in on Monday and sent it out, and I got it Wednesday. So, came in this nice box, nicely wrapped, and this is what it looks like. So, got some instructions online on how to replace it. They were a little detailed, but not quite detailed enough for my liking. There's a lot of assumptions that, you already know how to do certain things. Like it would just say, remove this. And I'm like, what is this and where is it? And so I had to kind of learn the hard way. So I just wanted to make my own video that was a little more specific so that people who don't know anything can hopefully fix it themselves. So I got the things I ordered was obviously my window regulator, and you have to make sure that it's the specific one for the door that you're dealing with, so driver's side front. And then I also ordered some door trim removal pieces from Amazon, and these are great, and I will put in the comments which ones I got. And it actually tells you, I just noticed that, like this says upholstery clip removal, and what does this say? Remover wide type. Anyway, so it tells you what parts you need. Remover narrow type. I just pretty much picked pieces and tried, but it turned out I really don't think I even needed them. So, and then also for tools, I have my handy ratchet set, and you'll need a 7mm and a 10mm size to take off bolts, and then you'll need a child to honk the horn, and then you'll also need a screwdriver with a Torx screw. I think it's T15 or T20, one of those. I can't remember which one it is, but whichever one it worked. So I have 2 screwdrivers that I use to help, and they're both socket ratchet kind, which I love. So I was able to use, this is actually the Torx screw And then I have my ratchet for the bolts. So first thing you do is, oops. All right, so you'll have your door panel on. Here's your door handle. First thing you need to do is there is a piece in here that you'll need to remove, and it looks like this. It's upside down. So all you have to do is pop that out, and then after you pop it out, there is a screw in here, and you'll just unscrew that with, and it's actually a bolt. And it's a 7mm bolt that you remove, and then you have this area right here, which has this thingy. You pull that out very easily. It's not really attached very well. And then there's 2 more bolts that you remove, screws. So, and that's also 7mm. And then once you have that, all you have to do is pull off the entire frame from the bottom. I don't even think you need these tools. I think I could have done it without them, but I used like this one to kind of gently pull it so that I didn't damage any of the things in there. So you pull it out, and then once you pull the bottom, it easily comes off on the side. So start from the bottom and work up. That's what I found. And so what you're taking off is these tabs right here, all along the interior of this. So once you pull it off, it'll be attached by 2 wires. One wire is the door handle tension thingy. Don't know what it's called. So you can actually pull this and take this little ball thing out. I just decided that I wasn't going to mess with that, just because last thing I need is to, I'm just going to try to leave things intact if I don't have to take them off. So I left that intact because there's plenty of room to function. I would get something to rest this on so that it's not pulling down too much, because it will pull against that edge. Okay, then there is the power mirror plug. So it goes into your power mirror, and this will be plugged into right here. And so you'll have to unplug that too, and then you'll be able to remove it and kind of hold it. Then you'll have this piece that'll be covering the entire interior to help prevent water from getting inside of it, and you just gently pull all of that, take this off. It's like the sticky silicone stuff. And then when you put it back on, I was reading that all you have to do is, you stick it back on, and then you can either use like a hair dryer, some kind of warm but not too hot thing to melt this a bit so that it will seal back on there. Good. So I'll do that at the end. And then once you get that going, let me move this to the side. And you, sir, can move over there. All right. So then you'll have, up in here, you'll have your window regulator business. And the motor and the regulator will be right here. And you will have to disconnect some screws, but first thing you should disconnect is the motor from the electrical source. So there are 2 screws that hold it on, and you just unscrew them, and they are Torx screws, either Torx 15 or 20. I can't remember what it is. I don't know which one. I know it's a Torx screw though. And so you undo those screws. They can be kind of hard to get to, but you can totally like push the whole business up in there around and get it to move, and don't worry about it. I mean, you're taking it out, so just kind of push it around to help get it moving. And ideally too, you need to make sure that your window is up and the way mine was down, so I had to push it up, which it wasn't too hard. Pushed it up, and then you can tape it to the top of your door. I'm too lazy to go in the garage and get some tape, so I used one of my fancy tools, and it's holding the window up right now. So that's kind of handy. Hopefully I might not be able to continue to use this because it'll get in the way of the new regulator. We'll see. I'll probably end up having to tape it. Anyhow, so once you take this out and unplug it, because if it's plugged in, you stand the risk of, if somehow that the button got pushed, it's still connected to the window, and it would cause the window to go down automatically. And it can, if it's pushed long enough, it'll go all the way down. You can't stop it, and you could damage yourself or the window. So just unplug that so you don't have to deal with that mess. Actually, I don't think it would have done anything because I didn't even have the motor attached to the window. So I think it would have been okay, but still you have to unattach it anyway to take the regulator out. That's the old regulator. So once you get that unattached, there's some screws. There's 5 of them. There's 1, and there's, where's the other one? Oh, 2. So 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 screws, and you take all of those out, and these are actually 10 millimeter bolts, screws. So you'll have to use a 10 millimeter ratchet to take those out. See how I have my screws all collected in one spot. Then you're going to be able to just yank that bad boy out, and that's mine. Looks like the parts. So let me show you the culprit. The culprit wasn't necessarily the motor, which is in here. It was the fact that this chain was all unraveled from the spool. So the motor drives the spool around and around, and the chain, which is kind of like a bike, your brake cables, like a cable, it was all jacked up, hot mess inside of here. That's what it looked like. So instead of, they said you could, possibly re-spool it, but I didn't want to. They said it was kind of a pain in the butt, and this doesn't really look like I want to be messed with that. So here's my new one, and get the sun. I will have to finagle that inside of this hole right here, and just kind of slip up one side on here and just kind of fit it in there, and then I'll have to put those screws back in, and then finally, and make sure that it's lined up with the window. There's 2 window guards. There's 1, and then there's another one on this side. I'm not gonna have to, I'm gonna be able to take this one's actually attached to the window still. I'm gonna have to take it off because this one already comes with, let me show you. This one already comes with it. It's already, so this right here is where the window goes in, and there's like a clamp. It clamps on the window, and you just tighten up the screws. So I'll be able to remove that. So that's where I'm at, and I will be back to show you how I did it, hopefully. Wish me luck.